This is Cletus from DB Services, and today we're talking about optical character recognition with FileMaker. That is the built-in OCR with the Mac OS, so you will not have support on this if you are using a Windows machine. But the built-in text recognition on Mac computers can be very useful here in FileMaker. Now, we'll give you an example of how to take advantage of some of that. So first, I'll kind of just give you a quick layout of the file we're going to use if you're following along in our demo file. Here on the left, these are just some buttons, and each button that you press will load up the image that you see on the button icon into our kind of center stage here. This will always be the image that we're parsing and pulling text and characters from. So when it does that, here on the far right, you'll see the English parsing of that, as well as you can use this drop down here to view the text in another language as well. So that's the big thing. So getting into it, here you can add an image. I've got some pre-selected here. So just any image you pull, and what you'll see is FileMaker will pull the text that it can find just from this image. And that does need to be an image. It will not work with a PDF or a Word doc or anything like that. But as you can see, whether it's plain text, whether it's graphics, it can pull that text from there. It can even pull in some natural handwriting if you want to. This is just handwritten on paper. And you can see as well here, it says FileMaker text recognition instead of FileMaker. It's not perfect. In this case, it's probably be attributed more to my handwriting than anything, but it's not a perfect parse. But it is very strong. It's very consistent with plain text, right? It's very strong, very consistent. So just be aware as you move around to graphics and different orientations like we have here on this wheel. Just double check your outputs if you're not using kind of standard linear plain text throughout the file. So let me show you behind the scenes here on this. We'll open our data viewer, and this is a very simple process here. It's the GetLiveText function. The container will be this preferences data field that we have set up, and then a parameter that relates to a language code. In this case, we're looking at English, and these are the words that are on that wheel there. Now, one thing to note is that the default parameter is English itself. So if you wanted to, you could just leave that blank and you'd still get the same output as well. On a similar note, let's select this text here. This is French text. And so even though this is the English output, it looks the same. What you will find is that texts that have a shared Latin Germanic root, so English, French, your Spanish, it's all going to pretty much look the same because it is not a translation tool. It is character recognition. And so because these are the same characters, it's the same M, it's the same E in these different alphabets, the outputs would look fairly identical no matter which one of some of those Latin language that you choose. Now, on the flip side, if you have a language that uses more scripts, you'll get this output, right? This is a kanji Japanese script. And so the English output it doesn't know how to parse that. So you will need to come down to a language code, and this is simplified Chinese or the actual Japanese itself to get the proper rendering of what you are looking at. And what this is also able to do is it can pull in multiple language. In this case, this is a menu where there's Korean and English on there as well. And so as you can see in the default English, you don't get any of the logograms, the syllabaries here. But if we do change this to the Korean parsing here, we get the language, the proper language that we want, as well as some of these English words that are within the menu as well. And then again, just to notice here where this should be fried chicken, it's rather thicker. That's again, just be aware. It's not a perfect parsing, but it is pretty strong. It is very consistent. So if you are curious about other languages, you can come here. There's 14 language codes. These are ISO standard language codes that are supported by FileMaker. The bottom two here are new, and they are for if you want to do some Arabic images. So there's one for standard Arabic, and there's also one for if you want a Saudi Arabian dialect. And these are not supported in all versions, so you'll need either macOS 15 or higher or iOS 18 or higher to be able to use these two Arabic translations. But nonetheless, they are here, 14 supported languages. Now, big thing here would be order to look at when you're looking at these images. And I'm going to pull over an invoice that we have here. This is this invoice just kind of zoomed in for you here so you can see it. This is the text that it outputs, and as you can see what it does, it kind of goes in rows and columns, top down. It parses this logo, and then the text down this column, and then the ship to column. It's kind of going in order, left to right, top down. It does the items, and then it comes down here and does these columns, the dates, rates, quantities, amounts, and then finally it gets down to this corner. So top down, left to right. It's kind of splitting the document up into 4 columns here. And this is good once you know this order, because then you can program your FileMaker system for whatever needs you may have. In this case, we know the grand total of this invoice is always the last line in the parse, in the text. So you can grab that, which could be, it's a native option and therefore much cheaper than other text recognition APIs that you would have to purchase to accomplish the same thing. And it can be very flexible and powerful for you if you already have lots of invoices in your system. And I'm just using this invoice as an example, but it could be anything. It could be like a document, a resume if you're looking for a keyword. We have this kind of product module in here just to kind of play around with. And this is just some food items where we've taken pictures of the nutrition facts and information on the side here. And we've pulled out what FileMaker can see on those labels there. And so with that, if we want to search this and say, of all the products in our system, show me the ones that have cornstarch. We can do that, and bam, it gives us these 3 products that do have cornstarch in the ingredients. So this can be very powerful, very helpful. If you pair this with some of the AI tools, so you can read some of our other articles about, you can even do a semantic search with this. Show me all the products that are gluten-friendly, that are good for someone with this particular allergy, whatever it may be. The big thing is that it doesn't require any extra backfilling or any extra installation to your system. You just need to create the calc on the particular table, and it's ready to go to kind of upgrade the system you already have in place, however it may fit your needs. So the last thing related to order would be if you have something like this, where it's an image where, again, the orientation isn't that much standard. I'm going to get a larger version out for you as well. FileMaker is still trying to do that column left to right output. So as you can see here, it's showing us interested, frustrated, critical, anger, dislike, disapproval, hurt. And then right here, it jumps back up to eager anticipation. So it's trying to put this into columns and read it left to right, which is fine if that's what you need. But if that's not what you need, there is a sister function very similar, and it is the GetLiveText as JSON. And again, you go to the same field, preferences data, tell it what language you want, and you will get this JSON output. It gives you the text that's there and then an XY value relative to that text's position on the image, beginning with the top left corner of the image. Now, this is helpful because what you can now do, if you want the information displayed differently than FileMaker's default, you can use those numbers and kind of sort them. So what we've done real quick is, this is the default order, XY position of each one. Again, column format left to right. Say you wanted it top to bottom. We click that, and it just sorts all the Y values in a descending order. And I've got it on a different bad language, updating that. Okay, top to bottom. So now it gives us eager as the first one, and interested and joyful and anticipation. And as you can see, it's only giving us these ones at the top until it moves on further down at the bottom. Or the reverse, if you want bottom to top, it's giving us amaze first. And hurt, that should be unhappy, confused, sad, anxious, disapproval. It's giving us the bottom ones first before moving on to the others. So again, a lot of cool things to do here, a lot of ways to play around with it, display it differently, a lot of flexibility, 14 languages. If there's any way you feel like you want to see this to upgrade your system in place, please give us a call at DB Services. We'd be happy to help you and make sure to help meet your needs. Thank you.